Welcome back to the mining event of the North. You're with Alvaro Peralta from MiningIR, and with us we have Roger Rosmus of Goliath Resources Limited. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Quebec with sun 2 days in a row, and
awesome.
it's a beautiful thing, right? Summer is here.
It is here. Certainly the weather much better than last year.
Yeah.
There's no rain and what have you, but crowds are pretty packed, and everyone seems to be in a pretty upbeat mood, which is great. So,
What a change. Year, 2 years, and finally the appetite has started to show. And let's talk about the appetite for Goliath.
we mobilized for our 2024 drill campaign. We announced 15,000 meters at our Sherbet discovery, and we're going to be focused on looking to test our the source of our Sherbet, where we have over 1.8 square kilometers of mineralization. Brand new discovery that we made, never been drilled before, never been sampled before until we came along. The reason being is it was covered under glacier and permanent snowpack, and just with the glacier receding, permanent snowpack no longer there, exposed essentially 1 kilometer of mineralization on one side of the mountain, goes down the north side for another 1 kilometer with 700 meters of vertical relief. So even before we had the maiden drill program in 2021, we had essentially a 3D model. We've hit on every hole we've drilled to date. We've got in this one particular area 1.8 square kilometers of mineralization that we've proven out, and to date there's about 66,000 meters of drilling that's been drilled on the Gold Digger property. The discovery is named the Sherbet discovery, and 40% of the holes we drilled last year within this area actually have visible gold, which is pretty amazing, up to 11 millimeter nuggets in size. This year, again, the idea is to hopefully drill into the feeder source that brought all this mineralization to surface. We've done quite a bit of geochem work, a lot of mapping, hired consultants like SRK, Archer Cathro, Motherlode, Colorado School of Mines. So a lot of smart people have been helping us figure this out, and we're very confident this year that we could actually drill into that feeder source, which would be very important for the company and this new discovery.
That's excellent. And obviously Mother Nature's shifted things and exposed this opportunity.
Yeah.
Why don't we tell the investors a little bit about the jurisdiction, where it's at, and they have an understanding of that.
Great question. So we're in a mining-friendly jurisdiction, world-class geological setting within the SK-RIF. So a lot of the big mines, discoveries, deposits have been made within this area. And actually there's a contact point between the Stahina and Hazelton group of rocks. They call it the red line. And within sort of 3 kilometers on either side of this red line, that's where the bulk of these deposits have been found. The red line essentially cuts right through our property. We actually control 56 kilometers of that red line, way to the north. In addition, First Nations in the area, pro-mining, pro-business. You see Ascot that just poured their first Dory bar, I guess, a month ago, 3 weeks ago. You've got activity of M&A, Newmont buying Newcrest, which is Bruce Jack, which is just to the northwest, which actually sits under glacier. So a lot of activity, M&A. I think there's been over sort of $5 billion of senior miners coming into the sector or that part of the world, looking for additional assets. If you looked at some of the viewers look at the BMO conference, like VRIC and Newmont and so on, they've actually stated on the record that the Golden Triangle is one of the key areas of focuses.
Absolutely. This guaranteeing of future production is such a huge topic right now.
Yes.
And it's one of the shining lights for the junior mining industry, for the exploration industry, to be able to know that there's an appetite for future mines in friendly mining jurisdictions. And you talked a little bit about the First Nations being mining friendly, and obviously there's been a big shift as the education level all around has gone up tremendously, and you have an opportunity to tap into that locally as opposed to having to bring it all in.
Correct.
So give us an idea of, over the next 6 months to a year, what are the plans for Goliath, and what can the investor look forward to?
There's going to be a lot of catalysts. Just the fact that we've now mobilized, because we can only really be working kind of May, June to September, October.
Right.
The majority of the drilling and exploration takes place. So there'll be plenty of news flow once the rigs start turning. If investors look at our news releases over the last 2 years, 3 years, that we, as we're drilling through the year, we actually kind of give an idea what to potentially expect, where we're seeing visible gold in the hole, sphalerite, galena, which we know is associated with the high-grade gold in this system. So we'll share that information as we go through, pre-assay, of course, obviously assay dependent, to give the shareholders an idea of what to possibly expect, and they can go and look at our 2023, 2022 samples and say, does it look same, so on and so forth. But one thing about the system, it's very predictable. It looks the same. The textures look the same. The geochem is all the same, and it's obviously come from the same spot. So we would expect to have the same type of success that we've seen since 2021 to 2023.
Gold is in a class of its own.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a lot of talk about critical minerals, and gold sometimes seems to fall off that list, even though it's definitely in there.
Yes.
How has it been for you as a company to see the change in gold over these last year and a half, and where it's going?
Certainly, it hasn't really trickled down yet, like the big water flow effect of this particular juncture, in my opinion. It's great to see new miners making a ton of money. They're building up their balance sheets, which gives them the ability to go and buy
The M&A.
that next, whatever, 3 to 10 million ounce deposit down the road, whatever it might be. So, even with Newmont divesting $2 billion worth of assets, they're going to have $2 billion worth to go and buy new things. And like you said, they're like a big dinosaur, in 10 years, whatever, they got to get to that next barn for their hay. And if that thing is empty, guess what? They're going off a cliff.
Yeah.
Right? So they rely on junior explorers that take the risks and find brand new discoveries that are tier 1 assets. And I do believe this asset will be a tier 1 deposit once we're finished with it.
Super exciting. Give us a little bit about the depth of the team that's making this happen.
Well, I mentioned Colorado School of Mines, all these other third-party folks. The team itself, the core team, it's the same guys, same geos going on every year, same program managers, same helicopter pilots, same drillers, same helicopter companies, and they've got a lot of years of experience doing this. And as they say, we go to the dark side of the moon where no man has walked before.
Oh, wow. That's excellent. Any last words you want to give to the investors in terms of what they need to dig into as they start doing their due diligence and look at Goliath as a possible investment?
Okay, good question. There's a lot of content on our YouTube station. We've actually built a series of the discovery and how it all kind of wrapped up. So we've got a series of, I think, about 7 episodes. We actually hired a cinematographer from California. We went up and spent summer up there. There's some really good content.
All drone footage and land footage.
Exactly. Like meeting the drillers, meeting the cook, meeting the geos, so on and so forth.
Making it real.
Making it real, exactly. And just to make people feel part of the discovery. And I would say, we've got tons of news releases with lots of technical data. Steve Israel from Archer Cathro did a very good presentation. This is more on the technical. If you want to get technical, go to our presentations link. He gave a video presentation, I guess it was earlier this year, and called the Golden Triangle University. So again, that's a series of various companies in the area that have some material type discoveries to talk about the geology and so on. And he did a great job doing that for the folks that want to get super technical.
Roger, one of the things that we haven't talked about is one of the strengths that you have with Goliath.
Yes.
Is your shareholder base has some phenomenal cornerstone strength to it. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. Great question. Actually, we have the support of Crescat Capital, and obviously what came along with that is Dr. Quentin Enning as a special advisor to the firm. They came in before we drilled, in actually December 2020. Shortly after that, Eric Sprott came in as a shareholder, and I guess it was March of 2021. And then just recently, last year actually, Rob McEwen came in. So we've got obviously management team. We've got about a 19% holding with on a partially diluted basis. Crescat Capital around 19% of the company. I do have a strategic institutional group, which is to be unnamed at this particular juncture. They're in for just sub 10% of the company. And then we have Rob McEwen at a 5% interest and Eric Sprott at 3.5% interest. As well, we have a number of smaller family offices out of Europe and out of the States and Canada that are long-term shareholders.
For the benefit of retail investors that perhaps don't understand the value of that,
Sure.
you as a shareholder, what would be the value in having these particular people represented in your shareholders?
Sure. I would say the easiest thing to do is just Google Eric Sprott, Google Rob McEwen, Google Prescott Capital. I mean, they're all well, I guess in certain circles in the mining space, world renowned. They're legends in the mining space. They've actually have financed mines. Some of them have operated mines, but they've been in the space for a very, very long period of time, and they don't like to lose. They like to pick winners. And with them on our share registry, we feel that they put their money in the right place.
I would push even further, Roger. Not only do they not like to lose, they bring the elements to the table that allow you to win.
Sure.
Because they have contacts, they have experience,
That's
they
true.
have the abilities to give you access that is hard to achieve otherwise.
Sure. Yeah, and to call someone up to say, hey, what do you think of this? We're thinking about doing that, or have you heard of this person? I mean, to get into the Rolodexes, there is no value you can put on that.
Yeah, they're the Warren Buffetts of the mining industry.
Correct. And I guess just to kind of even peel back the onion even more so is these type of people give a third-party validation that, hey, this is a pretty amazing asset. And I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And for us to be able to have their names in our PowerPoint and so on, it just speaks to, I guess, the significance of this deposit, or this discovery that we have at
I think one of the fun, in my experience, when you get into the space of exploration or even production, one of the hardest things to do is to find the people that have patient money, that understand the cycles, that have the depth of character and knowledge and maturity to be able to invest in a way that is actually beneficial for the project, for the mine. And when you give names out like that, those are those people. They have that capacity, and they have a long-term view of what's possible.
Correct. And long-term shareholders, that's the key for this game, and to be successful in the long term. And you can go back to these folks because there are obviously have a fairly decent asset book and can write additional checks for future financings down the road if they be, or exercise warrants for that matter.
Right, and they need those warrants to be exercisable, so they'll move mountains, no pun intended,
correct,
in order to make that happen.
Exactly.
That's excellent, Roger. I can't thank you enough. That's what a great way to end the interview.
Perfect.
And for all the retail investors out there and all those investors that are looking for the opportunities,
sure,
I agree with you. Look these people up and see who you're going to be standing shoulder to shoulder with.
Don't listen to me. Do your own DD, right?
Yeah.
Check it out.
Do your own DD and piggyback on their DD because they didn't get in lightly.
Of course.
Excellent. Thanks so much. It's a real pleasure.